my fellow book addicts, Megan here, and time for another book review. Today, I'm going to be talking about book 10 in the Woman of the Otherworld series, which is Frostbitten. We pick up with Elena chasing down this werewolf mutt from Australia. He is new to the country, he's new to America, and he has fallen into a pair of man-eaters. He doesn't know, but he does not know this. He figures, oh, these guys are just going to show me the ropes to being a werewolf in the US. Okay, I need some friends here. But they're both man-eaters, and they're trying to pin their bad habits on this new kid. They have done it before, and Ellen knows this, so she's trying to track this kid down and catch him before the other two kill him and make him take the blame for their man-eating habit. Of course, he's freaked out because he's heard all sorts of bad things about the pack, especially since usually where Elena is, Clay's not too far behind, and Clay, you don't want to mess with him. So he's doing the smart thing and just booking it and trying to get away, and in this run, he goes to Alaska. So Elena, as well as Clay, go up to Alaska to try and warn him, because Elena feels really bad, and she does want to save him, because she kind of failed to help the last werewolf that these two man-eaters have done this to. And you know, she's kind of killing two birds with one stone, because there are some so-called wolf kills going on up in Alaska that she wants to investigate to make sure there's not a man-eater up there as well. She manages to track down the young man that she was going to help and managed to actually talk to him and convince him that she is genuine in her offer and they aren't just going to kill him. So they send him back to the East Coast in New York to hang out with Nick and his father. And while they're up in Alaska, they run into some other werewolves and things are kind of sketchy. They want to figure out what's up with them, and they're foreign werewolves, so it's making them really iffy. And it turns out that these guys are from Russia, and they have this gun running operation that they're trying to expand into the US, and they're just killing people in Alaska, and it's not good. So they need to either tell them to GTFO or kill them to take care of the problem. And through all this, Elena has some inner turmoil that she's trying to deal with. We find out in the very first book, her parents were killed in a car accident when she was really little, and ever since she's been in the foster care system, and some of the foster fathers and brothers that she had abused her, and that kind of messed her up. And she actually just recently received a letter from one of these stepfathers apologizing to her for what he did, because he is now seeing someone to help with his issue, and his therapist recommended he send out letters to everyone that he has hurt, like Elena, and ask for forgiveness. And Elena, instead of replying or doing anything, she threw the note in the fire, and ever since she got the note, she's been a little messed up, because that letter brought up all sorts of memories from her bad childhood, and it's interfering with this mission that they are on. So, I think Frostbitten is a big improvement from the last book, and it made me really happy that we're back to Elena's point of view, and things are like all the other books, excluding Living with the Dead, so it really made me feel better about the series, to get back on track from that. And also, before I go into the spoilery bit, I want to give a warning to anyone who's triggered by rape or sexual violence. I recommend you read this book with caution or don't read it all. So, just warning you there. So, going into a little bit of a spoilery bit right now. It's not going to be elaborate like some of my other ones. So, yes. So, way back when, there was a father-son couple, part of the pack, who left the pack before Jeremy became alpha, and they moved to Alaska. And they're still there now, so Elena and Clay go to see him. His name is Joey, and he's basically turned his back on his werewolf heritage. He is pretending to be human in all ways possible, and turns out he has a son, which his grandfather is taking care of. The grandfather, Elena and Clay track him down, and turns out he's dead. He was killed by these Russian werewolves, and Clay is pissed, And when they find out Joey has a son, and these werewolves have the son, and are threatening to kill him if Joey does not give them everything that he owns and then gets out of Alaska. And apparently they're keeping the son and saying that they'll basically kill his father, if he does not cooperate. So they're kind of using him to further their means in Alaska. These werewolves manage to capture Elena, because Elena being the only female werewolf, she's kind of like a prize among all the werewolf males. And I love how Elena manages to force herself through her fear of being abused, and she's badass, and I love Elena. This book just reinforces why I love Elena. I also love how there is another type of shifter out there. A shifter that kind of shifts into this weird wolf, bear, human thing. And I found that really interesting. It's like they're a minor race. They kind of see the werewolves as betters than them, and they respect the werewolves, even though they outnumber werewolves in population size. And I hope we see more of them in the series, or at least hear more about them or other supernatural races like them. Because surely there are more than what is out there. The half-demons, the witches, the sorcerers, werewolves, vampires, necromancers. There has to be more out there. There are so many more possibilities. There's so much mythology out there. So, I feel it only makes sense that there are more out there. So, yeah, I love this book. Still loving the series. And it's just a huge step up from book 9. So, that's it for this book review, and I hope to see you guys next time.